Hey, Lisa, how you doing?
Hi.
All right, good to see you.
You too.
So, I do remember some of your story, but why don't you say it again? I know you said last Valentine's Day that you found your dog on Craigslist, but I want to hear a little more about that. Like how what gave you the idea to have you had a dog before? What brought about that day, and what led you to Craigslist? And give me a little more details because I think there's a lot of great story in there.
I am a lab mom. I've had labs my whole life. So when my last one got put down quite a few years ago, I didn't have any dogs. I was in an apartment at the time, so I didn't think it was fair to leave a dog in an apartment. And then my dad passed away 2 years ago, a year before I got her. And the grief was hard. And so I was like, I think a dog would really help. And I was looking, researching perfect dogs for apartment living. And I was looking at Yorkies. I was looking at mini dogs that didn't require a whole lot of attention when they were home and that can be home alone. And this breed popped up as the best one for apartment living. She's a mini American Eskimo. And then by chance, it was like one of my sleepless nights. I'm on Craigslist, and one just popped up. This lady was rehoming like a new litter of puppies. And I was like, okay, this was meant to be. And ironically, I drove up the next town, and she had a whole litter in the back of her SUV, a whole bunch. I wanted a boy. She gave away the last boy. No, I'm sorry. I wanted a girl. She gave away the last girl, and I was like, okay. So I picked up one of the boys, and I held it. Didn't feel a connection. And then I see this little puppy in the back, her. I picked it up. She licked me in the face, and I'm like, I felt that instant, like you're going to be my human connection. So I took her home. She was like this little puffball. Drove her back to my apartment. Did not tell my son because he was bugging me for a puppy for the longest time. Took her home. This was the Valentine's weekend. And then when I took her out to pee, thinking it was a boy, she rolled around her back, and I realized, oh my gosh, it is a girl.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what...
Thinking it was a boy because she said there's no more girls left. And sure enough, when I saw, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a girl. So that was another miracle. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, somebody's listening. And so she's my emotional support animal. She's registered. But unfortunately, this past September, my ex-boyfriend, who's now my roommate, he had a Rhodesian Ridgeback who she instantly bonded with. The Rhodesian Ridgeback had cancer in her leg, and she wasn't expected to live much longer. But once she met Juju, she just had a whole new spring in her step, and she lived for another year. And their bond was incredible. Just, this big dog and this little white fluff chasing each other around the house, and it was so hysterical. But she passed. Her name was Gigi. She had to be put down in September, right after Labor Day, and she kind of lost her place in the pack. So she developed a lot of anxieties, and we moved into a house where we were isolated. And now when people walk by, she goes crazy. We're having trainings. We're learning how to be out in public, but any other dogs, any other people, and she just loses it. Like, she just protective. So we're going through training. She's on anxiety medicine. We're also going through trainings to, my trainer said she belongs on America's Got Talent. So we're training her for that. Also training her to be an agility dog. So once she gets over her anxiety, she's going to be a performer.
That's beautiful. So tell me about how did you surprise your son? What was that like? How did you end up doing that?
Me and my ex split 50-50. So when I went to go pick him up, I just walked inside with her in my lap, and I handed it to her. And he was just all like shocked looking at me. He's like, what's this? I'm like, that's your new puppy. He's like, what? And he started crying. I have a picture of him holding her crying.
That's beautiful. I mean, when you can surprise somebody, I mean, what a surprise. I mean, literally just walking in and going, here you go.
And she loves him. It's like when I say, where's Brandon? She like perks up.
I was when you were talking before about your father passing away, which I'm sorry to hear about that. It made me think of, my mom passed away years back, and my father, through some different changes, he ended up getting a cat, and like I'm so happy that he has that cat. So happy, because it does what we can't do, and it being there, and it really is somebody when he comes home to be with, and like it gives him that attention that he needs and he loves, and like he's never been like an animal person, but like I do video calls in the morning, and like there's the cat next to him, and he's always thinking about her. Like, I gotta get home and make sure she gets fed. She's waiting on me, and I think it's such an amazing thing. Animal, only an animal can do that, and it's such a beautiful thing. It's just such a lovely thing to see and to be a part of. So when you said that, it really resonated with me when you said you got this dog, and it's helped, just being there for you and feeling the emotion and everything. And what a beautiful dog. And the fact you surprised your son. I love that. And then I love the fact that, like the story with the other dog is such a beautiful story. And I think that just speaks to not only animals, but just people, right? It's like, it's just different when somebody else is around you that this is lively and loves you, like it changes everything, and that's what you have with the dog, saying the dogs just ended up living longer, specifically because this dog was in his life, that's a beautiful thing. We know in human cultures, it's like sometimes when spouses die, the other person dies, and that's a direct correlation about what we're talking about, where that can happen. So it's what a beautiful story. So I mean, wow. So you see, like, you bring this dog in, and because you chose this dog, or this dog chose you, the other dog lived longer, had a healthier life, and your son's happier, and you have these everything changes, and it's a powerful story. So I appreciate you sharing her with us. I love that he and her thing.
Yeah.
And what kind of tricks are you hoping to? What's the first kind of tricks you're hoping to teach?
I taught her to jump into my arms. She'll run up my leg and jump into my arms. She can weave in and out of my legs. She does the typical rollover. She used to be able to dance on her hind legs. She does a lot of hind legs. When she sees other dogs, she'll get up on her hind legs and she'll walk like that. It's called the elephant trick, where she puts her front paws on a upside down bucket and she can go around it. What else can you do? She's got her own little Instagram page too.
Oh, wow. Okay. We should maybe I can get that from you later. I can put that in the show notes for people. So, and if anybody else's animal has an Instagram too, I'm free to share it. I can put that in the show notes. So you can see some of that. So I love that. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate you sharing that and sharing about how you got her, and the people that she's affected, and those relationships. It's really powerful what the animals can do for us, but also, again, just what they change the atmosphere for the people around us too, and bring such joy. So thank you so much for that. I appreciate your time, and for calling to act, for seeing the post on the Facebook group and going, yeah, I'd like to, be a part of that, and then showing up. So I appreciate you doing that.
Well, I like sharing her, since I can't share her physically yet until she gets over her fear.
Well, we appreciate it, and the great thing is now that we'll put it online, and you'll be able to share. Some other people will be able to meet her who wouldn't get the opportunity because of the circumstance. So,
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Thanks.